Yo, 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 good evening, everybody, and thank you for tuning in to another episode of Unfiltered Sports. This is your host, Shaq Mack. I'm the owner of Dogs Basketball, and I wanted to give an updated, exciting update, like exciting update, because um, if you haven't seen already, uh, our Lady Dogs, which is our ladies basketball team, we have played our first official game in our inaugural season, and that has led us to um, start our season off kind of strong. Unfortunately, we didn't get the outcome we wanted, which was a loss by 4 points, but that is a okay. I'm not upset about it. They played a hard and well fought game, and I'm excited to see how this rest of the season is going to go for them. They do have a game this upcoming Sunday, and more details will be disclosed as we go throughout the week here. So we're kind of just waiting for some more details to come along, and we'll be good to go. But with that being said, though, today is going to be a lot of different things we're going to talk about. We're going to talk about the FIFA World Cup and how crazy exciting most of these games have been so far. We're going to talk about some of the upsets. We're going to talk about some of the victories here. We're going to talk about one of the probably the best comeback in FIFA World Cup history that happened today. Um, we're going to get back into wrestling as well. We're going to talk about a challenge that was just issued from the Big Three. And so it's going to be a lot that we're going to be discussing today. So please tune in. Make sure you hit that like and subscribe button. Please and thank you. Right. And so, first thing is first is let's talk about this FIFA World Cup really fast. First and foremost, FIFA World Cup has been exciting. Right, let me pull up the bracket here really fast because it's man, it really shattered my bracket, that's for sure. And so we had where'd it go? The round of 16, right? So I definitely had Canada going on to the next round, to the quarterfinals. And then I had France beating Paraguay. I had US beating Belgium. I had Spain beating Portugal. I had Brazil beating Norway. I had England beating Mexico. I had Colombia beating Switzerland. Argentina beating Egypt. So we're gonna go through this really fast. It was just, yeah, this definitely just broke my bracket because Morocco beat Canada 3-0. France beat Paraguay 1-0. US got destroyed 4-1. Spain beat Portugal 1-0. Norway beat Brazil 2-1. England beat Mexico 3-2. Switzerland beat Colombia and penalty kicks. 4 penalty kicks to 3 penalty kicks. And then the game of maybe even the World Cup, the year, the century, maybe. But Argentina versus Egypt. Egypt was up 2 goals to 0 going into like the final. I want to say the final 5 minutes of the game, and then I think in the last 4 minutes or so, maybe even 2 minutes, Argentina scored 3 goals to come back and win 3-2. It's crazy. The best comeback in FIFA World Cup history. Like, you just let them march right back in and win, which is ridiculous. So we got going into the Elite Eight here. And so Argentina, I think, is going to beat Switzerland. England's going to beat Norway. Spain's going to beat Belgium. France is going to beat Morocco, which then leads us to the final four, which I think is going to be France beating Spain, Argentina beating England, and then it's going to be um, Argentina versus France in the finals, And then I believe that Argentina secures a back-to-back World Cup victory here for soccer. That's great for them. I hope it does happen, but they played a scary game today, so anything is possible. As you can see, U.S. got caught just walking around, acting like it was not even a really important game, and they got walked all over. They got salsa danced all over. Like, it was crazy. So anything is possible when it comes to soccer here. Like, you just never know what can happen with FIFA World Cup or even soccer in general. Um, the next thing that I want to talk about, as far as uh, what was on our agenda today, is that the Big Three has issued a challenge to the Ball brothers. Now, I think that this is very, very interesting because August 22nd in Charlotte is when they'll have uh, their All Star weekend, All Star game, championship game, whatever you want to call it. That's when they're going to have that, and they are challenging the Big Three All Star versus the Ball brothers. And so I think that's going to be an amazing game to see. The Ball brothers versus the All Stars from the Big Three. See how they compete versus the Ball brothers. See how the Ball brothers can hold up against some of these old timers, and if they really still got it. Um, I really think that that's going to be one of the games for the books for the Big Three. That's going to help set them over that slump that they may be in right now, as far as getting more viewers out, whatever it may be. That may be the game for them. On top of that, though, I want to switch gears a little bit because I find this very interesting. We talked about this a little bit last show we had, but that Jaylen Brown trade for the Sixers is crazy. Like, the Sixers are probably one of 5 teams in consideration now for winning a championship. But as the GM for the Sixers, you just made a splash and you got Jaylen Brown. But in Joel Embiid's history with being hurt, are you going to go find another big man that can replace Joel Embiid as your franchise big? Are you going to sit back and just allow this season to be not necessarily like a rebuild season, but like, oh snaps, like, I can leverage Jaylen Brown to get someone else. I can leverage this person to get whoever I want. But just look at that, is that because Jaylen Brown came to Philadelphia, there's now speculation that LeBron James might come to Philadelphia. Honestly speaking, I hope he doesn't come to Philadelphia, but if he does, it's not the end of the world. One of the things that I've seen is that LeBron was posting a video of him buying golf clubs for Kevin Hart. And so I thought that was funny. I'm not sure if it's real, if it's fake or whatever it may be, but, I thought that was funny that, LeBron was around Philadelphia buying golf clubs, meaning that he might have had a talk with someone from that front office in Philadelphia. Um, if he does come to Philadelphia, I believe that ticket sales are going to start to skyrocket just a little bit. You're going to spend an arm and a leg just to get a nosebleed seat, all because you got LeBron James. Even though he's that old, tickets are still going to be a little bit more expensive on that side of things. But we'll see. I hope he goes back to Cleveland, and I hope he, ends it where he started it at from the beginning. There's also speculation that he might be able to go down to Miami and play again down there for his last year or whatever it may be. But the world may never know, because knowing LeBron, he's going to take his time and he's just going to have a whole media conference about it. But it is what it is. It is what it is. LeBron's going to do his own thing, and that's okay. Um, I find it interesting too is that a lot of these players jump from team to team to team to try to win a championship, but very few have stayed true and loyal to the team that drafted them and have won a championship with that team. And so, I think that's very interesting to me because loyalty is everything, and we'll see what happens in the long run with that side of things. But on the grand scheme of things, the bigger picture here, right, is last week or last show we talked about WWE, and we talked about your dream team versus your redemption team. We talked about a tag team matchup that could possibly happen. We put together a dream matchup that would have been crazy to see. It was a hell or a steel cage match or Hell in a Cell match, one of them, with this team versus that team, and it was Prime DX versus the Bloodline, I believe it was something like that, and special referee. But either way, this week, one of the things that I really want to talk about when it came to WWE was the Brock Lesnar and Obafemi uh, matchup, or whatever you want to call it, right? Because they fought twice now already. Where it mattered the most, Obafemi won. Brock Lesnar won on a different scheme of things, and so I'm gonna pull up some stats here with these Brock Lesnar versus Obafemi, because I think they've only played two. Yeah, so Brock Lesnar and Obafemi are scheduled to battle in a highly favored, anticipated rubber match inside a Hell in a Cell structure at WWE SummerSlam in August. With their head-to-head record currently tied at one apiece. So, in WrestleMania back in April, Obafemi won. Like, it was crazy. It was like your jaw dropped when you see that Obafemi just beat Brock Lesnar. And then, which was really crazy to me when I was really watching the highlights of that Obafemi match versus Brock Lesnar, and he won, is that it was so fast that it happened. And also, Brock Lesnar took his shoes off and was waving to the crowds. To me, that's simulating that he's ready to retire from wrestling. So me thinking that he was ready to retire from wrestling, I'm like, oh snaps! Like, you know, he lost in WrestleMania. Give his props to Obafemi, whatever it may be. Then here we go. WWE Clash in Italy. What happened? Brock Lesnar, he returns from a brief hiatus, as it's quoted here, to challenge Obafemi. They went back and forth with each other, and then Brock Lesnar hit multiple F5s on Obafemi to pin him 1, 2, 3. So this here is like the tiebreaker match between Brock Lesnar and Obafemi. And this match is at SummerSlam Showdown. Uh, and I believe that it's going to be epic. Crazy is not even the word that I was looking for, but epic. Like, this is going to be an epic match. And I want to watch it because I want to see if Paul Heyman is going to get involved and try to cheat. I want to see everything from start to finish because that's going to make or break this match here. If Paul Heyman can sit down somewhere, not bother anybody, and not try to distract any opponent that Brock Lesnar faces, then Brock Lesnar will lose, especially to Obafemi. So I think this is going to be a crazy rivalry. I think that Brock Lesnar is going to try to hit at least 3 or 4 F5s in a row on Oba, but I think Oba's very, very well versed in being put in the F5. I think that he's going to bounce back from that. And it seems to me that as Obafemi gets attacked, it just builds more energy for him. And he's getting hype off of it. He's getting fueled up. And so the more fuel that he gets from being attacked by Brock Lesnar, I think he's going to use that, turn it around, and then he's going to really power bomb Brock Lesnar and put Brock Lesnar down. And so I believe this is going to be one match for the books. And to me, I think Obafemi comes out with the pin count 1, 2, 3. Femi's going to put Brock Lesnar through the table, the announcers table. I believe that not can he can't even do that because it's a Hell in a Cell. So I was wrong, but I believe that he probably could put him through that cage. And I hope during this matchup that Paul Heyman gets locked outside the cage. So if Paul Heyman gets locked outside the cage, he can't do anything but just walk around the outside of the cage, and he can try to talk to Brock from there. But I think that this is going to be crazy, crazy. Now, I would like to see outside of that Hell in a Cell match, I would like to see more or less like a tag team steel cage match for the WWE tag team champions, and the winners. I think I think And let me see because I think I missed this one here, but let me see who the tag team champions are right now. So as of right now, the Vision, so Braun Breaker and Austin Theory are the WWE tag team champions after capturing the title on July 6th by defeating the Street Profits. Um, so on SmackDown, WWE tag team champions are R-Truth and Damian Priest. So, bigger picture here. Actually, let's look at this right here, right? So, the Hardy Boys holds the TNA World Tag Team Champions right now. Then you got R-Truth and Priest who hold SmackDown Tag Team Champions, and then the World Tag Team Champion for Raw, which is the Vision. I would like to see the 2 versus 2 in that steel cage match. Like no hose bar, steel cage match. Make it happen. Who do you think will win, chat? Who do you think will win? Because I think that this is going to be one for the books. Um, Let me see if I can pull up some good stats here because the Hardy Boys are old right now. I want to see how old the Hardy Boys are, and that's going to really help me determine my pick on who I think is going to win um, this matchup here. So as we speak, how old are the Hardy Boys? Because I want to make my judgment based off of some facts here. So not now. So Matt Hardy is 51 and Jeff Hardy is 48. So you got a 51-year-old and a 48-year-old who are known for some crazy tag team matchups who are still holding tag team belts. In my opinion, that's like Ric Flair. Not even Ric Flair. I can't even do that to Ric Flair. But more like the Legion of Doom coming back out of retirement and taking over as tag team champions during SmackDown when they had made their return. Like that right there is, I think that's cool. Cool to see. But, some of my favorite tag team champions were the Hardy Boys. And so that's why I'm really intrigued to see that they're still wrestling and still actually winning titles at that because Hardy Boys been around since I started watching wrestling, maybe even before then, and right around that time, they went from WWF to WWE, and then they went to TNT from there, or TNA from there. So, but yeah, see, it shows that they've wrestled with WWE, AEW, and now TNA. So good for them. But if we put again the Vision, who is Braun Breaker and Austin Theory from Raw, versus Damian Priest and R-Truth from SmackDown, versus the Hardy Boys, who's going to win that? Who's going to win it? That's what I want to know. That's just one matchup, right? And I'll put that in the chat right here for y'all. So I'm going to say SmackDown Tag Team Champions versus Raw Tag Team Champions versus TNA Tag Team Champions. Who will win? Question mark. From there, the other thing that I want to talk about is the women's tag team titles, right? Because we know right now that the women's tag team title is held by Brie Bella and Paige Rain as the women's tag team titles. What's going on? Split Mind Media. Thank you for tuning in. So what we were talking about here was SmackDown Tag Team Champions, which, as I've seen here, was R-Truth and Damian Priest versus The Vision, Braun Breaker, and Austin Theory from Raw versus TNA Tag Team Champions, which is the Hardy Boys. Who will win in a tag team matchup, steel cage match, no rules? That's what I was just talking about. And in my honest opinion, I'm always going to go with the Hardy Boys. Hardy Boys have been through some crazy matchups, and it's just no doubt in my mind that they're going to win. The only thing that really concerns me about the Hardy Boys right now is that they are 51-47, I believe it said. So that's the only thing that really concerned me with them. But outside of that, I really believe that they still can win that matchup very easily. I have no doubt in my mind that Jeff Hardy and Matt Hardy can still take down some of the best in the industry, being 51-47. And so that's where I was at with that one right there. And then we were talking about the women's tag team champions. And I honestly think that this before we even got to the women's tag team, we were talking about Brock Lesnar versus Obafemi. And so one of the things that I was talking about is I think that at this SummerSlam showdown that's happening next month, because it's July, next month, I believe that in the Hell in a Cell, Obafemi beats Brock Lesnar in the Hell in a Cell match. Yes, Obafemi's going to get hit with at least 4 or 5 F5s, but I think he's going to use that for motivation and leverage. And with Paul Heyman not inside of the cage, I think that that's going to really be an easy victory for Obafemi overall. I think a lot of the wins that came from the Vision, a lot of them that came for Brock Lesnar under Paul Heyman's reign, is because Paul Heyman was right there next to the ring, and he was distracting some of the opponents there. And that's where I believe that with Paul Heyman not being ringside really to distract anyone, it gives Obafemi the upper hand right there. And yeah, Brock's old. He played his football with the Minnesota Vikings. He wasn't really doing well at all playing football. He did UFC, wasn't really doing that great with UFC either. And he came back to the WWE. And what really stunned me with Brock, though, is that after Oba beat him the first time, I thought he was done. Like, I thought he retired. He took his shoes off and everything. And then what happened? He came out of his hiatus to go to Italy and challenge Obafemi, and then that's when he beat Obafemi over there in Italy. And so I think this is going to be interesting. But I did watch. I'm a little behind, but I think it was June 29th Monday Night Raw where Obafemi came out with the King of the um, what do you call it, King of the Ring crown or whatnot, and he was holding it high. And then Brock Lesnar came out and was like, I was once King of the Ring and blah blah blah. And then he low blowed Oba, and then tried to take him out or whatnot. And then Oba pretty much got up and said, "Yeah, I'm never gonna call you down behind your back. I say it to your face." And pretty much was just telling him off to his face. And so I think this is going to be one for the books there. But best believe that you got to be able to keep Paul away from that ring. Um, one of the matchups that I want to see as well is I want to see CM Punk versus Roman Reigns. They have so much bad blood against each other for whatever reason that I don't know. I just want to see that matchup and see how it's going to turn out. Um, I think I missed it already too. I don't. That's a great question. I don't think Brock's going to survive a Hell in a Cell, even though Brock was the one that brought it up as far as the Hell in a Cell match. But will he actually survive a Hell in a Cell? Probably not. Like you said earlier, he's old. I don't think he has the stamina that he had before. I don't think that he's going to be able to compete versus Oba in a Hell in a Cell. Oba has a lot more stability. I think that Oba is going to be able to straight up power bomb Brock through that cage, even spare him probably through that cage, and put Brock out of his misery. Like I think what should happen is, and I get it that the GM for Raw is the acting GM for SmackDown for whatever happened between the GM and Gunther. That GM is under administrative leave right now, and so I believe that um, the GM should make this how they did to Ric Flair versus Shawn Michaels. If Ric Flair won, he can continue wrestling. If he lost, he had to retire. I think this should be that same situation for Brock Lesnar. If Brock Lesnar wins, he can continue to wrestle. If he loses, he got to go. It's just the nature of business there. But one of the matchups I really want to see outside of that CM Punk and Roman Reigns is the CM Punk versus Cody Rhodes. That's what I want to see. And I know before I went on hiatus of watching wrestling because I was away for some time, CM Punk was offered an opportunity to play for that World Heavyweight Championship. And so I think that should be a good matchup right there in itself. Now, I don't know if he won or not, but let me double check that. Someone in the comments, let me know who won that matchup because I really missed that one. CM Punk versus Cody Rhodes. It says CM Punk and Cody Rhodes are currently on the collision course following the July 6th episode of Monday Night Raw after Gunther attacked Cody Rhodes and took him out of his title match against Sami Zayn. I missed it. I missed it. Oh my goodness. Come on. I missed it. You got to be kidding me. So is Gunther being banned or what? Because that's crazy. Um, so CM Punk beat Cody Rhodes to get the championship, and then it's supposed to be kind of like a rematch, I'm guessing. But because Gunther attacked him, uh, he's now kind of out of it, out of a title match at that point, I guess. So with Gunther attacking Cody Rhodes, that means CM Punk stepped in, defeated Zayn, and he won the undisputed champion. Yo, all right, split mind. You got to let me know some of the details of how that went down and what's going on with Gunther. Is Gunther is Gunther a maniac, and is he going to survive WWE? Like, that's what I want to know because I missed it. Like, yo, I'm actually upset that I missed that. All right, so how like I'm gonna watch it obviously. So like you can ruin it all you want, but like how did this actually play out? Was the attack be like old school before the match happened? You attack somebody backstage, you throw them inside the limousine, and boom, they out of there. Or was it like Gunther ran out there to the arena and then he took off from there? Because like if there's some DX kind of you know knock him out kind of stuff, like that's crazy. Like it might be a return to DX momentum style here. That's I really gotta watch that episode, man. I'm behind so much on that, and I really want to see uh, what's going on and all of that stuff. So we're gonna see what really happens here, and kind of yeah, I'm excited, man. This is gonna be interesting for me, but um, I hope I don't miss next week's live because I'm gonna be traveling back from the Lady Dogs' second game, their first home game of the season, but second game overall. We came up short this past Sunday by 4 points. Sad part was we were up for most of the game, but we kind of beat ourselves. But that's the neither here or there. We lost by 4 points in our inaugural season in our first game, and that's okay. They fought hard, they played well, but we also didn't even have our full roster there too, which is another thing. But I think that if we ever go up by 30 points or whatever on any team that we play, I think that we got an opportunity to put more bench players in and give them some more playing time. This was the first time that this team has ever played together as well. Like they're all new playing with each other. And so the fact is that, a bunch of ladies playing semi-pro basketball and it's the summer. And so they're like, I want to get to know you. I want to get to know you. We want to play basketball. So let's see how we can build upon that. Right. I didn't know this, but we got a superstar. She like 6'3", and when I tell you, like every opportunity she had, she was blocking shots left and right out there, bro. Like what, bro? The fact that I had to look up to her, and it's not hard for many people. Like they taller than me, but and I got to look up to a lot. But it's crazy because she was cooking these people so bad that they just started calling fouls on people left and right, and then they eventually tried to get her fouled out the game, but it didn't work. But I respect her grind. I respect her hustle. I respect her play because she was out there just going right at everyone. And so I was amazed at that. But we played the same team on Sunday at 5 p.m. And I'm going to do my best to actually have the live stream up and running. We had some technical difficulties running it at the facility we were at due to Wi-Fi or whatnot. So we're going to see how this goes out this time. But because you just told me that though, split mine, I'm definitely going to have to get on that Monday Night Raw and figure out how everything played out 100%. Because man, if Gunther came out and took out Cody Rhodes like that, he must have had it coming. Like Cody must have said something disrespectful to him or whatever it may be, but that's crazy. Um, I don't know. Maybe it's because Gunther is pissed off at the GM of SmackDown, and that's why he went on administrative leave or whatever it may be. But I did see something. I think it was last week. I want to say it was, or 2 weeks ago, where the GM for Raw is acting as the GM for Raw and SmackDown because the GM for SmackDown was on admin leave, and it was because of an argument with Gunther and him. And I wonder if that really set the stage and the tone for Gunther to come out and actually do what he did to Cody Rhodes. Oh, it's got me hyped right now. So I'm gonna have to, yeah, I'm definitely gonna have to check that one out. So I'm very intrigued on that one. Uh, but before I give you guys your time back or whatnot, please, if you haven't already, go ahead and subscribe to Dogs underscore basketball here on YouTube. Fueling the fire to make the title scene better. Of course, of course. That means they got to give Cody Rhodes a title shot now once he come back or whatever. But yeah, y'all haven't, go follow Dogs Basketball on YouTube, and then make sure you go subscribe, share that channel for me, please. Also, um, that's where we're going to be streaming our Lady Dogs basketball games. That's where we're going to be streaming our Dogs basketball games. That's where we're going to be doing a lot of stuff going forward. And the more subscribers we get from the Dogs basketball channel allows us to keep our live streams free, and we don't have to charge our fans to watch our games live or whatnot. And so I'm excited. I'm blessed to be in the position that we are in right now. I'm really hoping that we can continue to grow as an organization and move forward. The team that we have is a powerhouse team. We're still growing and still getting to know each other, but our men's team as well. I'm very excited for where we're at as a men's team, and I really want to see how we're going to produce this uh, upcoming winter season. And so, our first men's game is October 17th. It's a home game. It's our season opener. And I'm very excited to see what happens, really. We have a lot of powerhouse names coming out of Philadelphia playing for Dogs basketball. And I believe that this house is going to be packed because our first 3 out of 5 games are home. And so if we can pack out the house for these 3 games to start the season, it's going to be a statement for these away games because we go away to Virginia within those first 5 games, and I believe we got a game in Philadelphia within those first 5 games as well. And so it's going to be very, very interesting to see how we pack this house out. I'm excited, and believe it or not, um, his YouTube name is and Instagram name is G Funny. He's going to be uh, suiting up with Dogs basketball, and I think this is going to be a blessing in disguise for us as well. And so, um, we get to have a celebrity player. He's going to be our celebrity all star for Dogs basketball season home opener on October 17th, and I'm super excited for that. I'm super excited for that. So with that being said, you guys, I'm just going to give you the rest of your night back. I appreciate you guys for tuning in. Stay blessed, everybody. I'm looking forward to seeing some more of you guys' content coming out on YouTube. If you haven't already, subscribed to Primetime 1 a.m. as well. That way I can get those notifications that you guys are going live and that I'm going live as well. And, big shout out to Split My Media. Big shout out to Ant Like the Bug. Big shout out to Out the Pit, Sackcloth Queen. Shout out to OG, Ron's opinion don't matter. Appreciate you guys time and time again for the multiple support. Can't forget about Bam the God as well. Shout out to you as well. You guys got some merchandise and all of that stuff, and so I really appreciate it. Split My Media, we got to get you some Dogs merchandise as well. So um, I'll get your size, and we'll get you some Dogs gear sent out to you as well. But again, I appreciate it. And with that being said, y'all have a good night. Let's go Dogs.